right, gentlemen, I hope you see the instructions in the dressing room, so you know what I expect. Good, clean, professional fight. Protect yourself all the time and listen to my commands. Punches are good here, punches are good here. Good luck, touch 'em up.
As we take a look at the tail of the tape for our main event, you see the physical advantages that MJ Akhmadaliev will carry into the ring here tonight. The tale of the monster, the tale of the boogeyman. Only one will prove to be true here tonight. Only one man will leave as Super Bantamweight champion. Round 1 scheduled for 12.
Corey, MJ Akhmadaliev has spent the last 2 years telling anyone who will listen that Naoya Inoue has been ducking him. That's the story he's been telling the public. Most importantly, that's the story he has been telling himself, but you saw in the introduction, Naoya Inoue did the Aaron Pryor gloved fist point to let him know it is monster time. Now, the tagline for this fight is, be careful what you ask for. Like you just said, only one of these people is right in their assertion. But the one thing we do know, Corey, is that this is the biggest showdown between a monster and an MJ since Michael Jackson's Thriller video.
Inoue in the opening 10 seconds of this bout, breaking through, been at a relative standstill ever since. But you saw in that moment, Morgan, one of the many calling cards of Inoue, the ability to close ground in an instant, just the foot speed to step in with that heavy jab.
Yeah, and you'll see Akhmadaliev has the physical strength advantage. Like if they had a push-up contest or a bench press contest, a caber toss contest, something like that, Akhmadaliev would win. But the explosiveness, in every fight in his career, that advantage has gone to Naoya Inoue. Just the speed and the suddenness to him that no matter how good you are, people can't quite prepare for.
Very quiet opening rounds would not be unusual for Inoue, even in instances where you think that his opponent is hopelessly overmatched, which is not the case here tonight. But even against Lee Jun Kim, not exactly an electric start, but Inoue maybe a little bit busier than usual here in the opening round.
Yeah, look how fast that jab comes when he throws it. Yeah, one of the questions I had going into this fight was, we know that Akhmadaliev too tends to start conservatively and get into a rhythm as the rounds pass, but at the same time, the times we've seen Inoue hurt, it's been early in fights. So how do you reconcile this apparent early vulnerability with the fact that you, as Akhmadaliev, don't like to start fast?
Akhmadaliev has been telling reporters he's predicting a stoppage victory here tonight. He says, let's see how Inoue reacts when I hit him for the first time. Good left hook there from Inoue. Akhmadaliev falling short, gets cracked with the left hook. And a devilish stare from Inoue as he heads back to the stool.
Yes, the difference in speed is glaring. And the puzzle now Akhmadaliev is going to have to solve is, can he find some timing that can trump Naoya Inoue's speed? Because those jabs are coming faster than Akhmadaliev can react to them. Those check hooks are coming faster than Akhmadaliev can react to them. So, and none of those, that is not incidental. That's not something you can wish away. That's something he's going to have to deal with. 戦績は15戦14勝1敗。この14勝には11勝の KO 勝ちが含まれております。2回目。Now round 2.
Round 2 underway, an excellent start for the monster, Naoya Inoue. Adjustments Akhmadaliev can make here. Beginning in the second round. Generally speaking, you know that Akhmadaliev is in a rhythm, Morgan, when he is landing that left hand to the body.
Yes. see Akhmadaliev probing with that jab, but again, when Inoue answers with his jab, just the speed with which it gets from point A to point B is a different league from what Akhmadaliev can offer.
Akhmadaliev, obviously extremely crafty. We talked about his Olympic and amateur pedigree. The question that a lot of observers had coming into this fight, Morgan, is can Akhmadaliev make up that perceived gap in terms of explosiveness?
Yes.
Not necessarily overall athleticism, as you said, but quickness. Good right hand to the body from Inoue.
Right now, you can see him seeing if he can figure out how to do that.
Akhmadaliev's need to get to the body. Now we've seen Inoue find the shot with his power hand that Akhmadaliev, I'm sure, is hoping to get going.
Well, Akhmadaliev's other problem too now is what you're seeing is that Inoue is also using that speed, that explosiveness, that suddenness on defense. And when Akhmadaliev tries to answer these quick punches from Inoue, Inoue's not there.
When you're blessed with the foot speed that Inoue has, you can do that in the safest way possible. The safest thing you can do defensively in boxing is just to step out.
Yes.
But Inoue can do that and be right in your face milliseconds later.
Right, Corey. And Akhmadaliev, like most fighters, high-level fighters, is used to people that can do one or the other. You're in with someone that does both. You're in a dilemma.
And Akhmadaliev with a staunch belief in his power. Feels that if he can touch Inoue, he's not certain that Inoue can handle it. If that is the case, it would take just one shot. Akhmadaliev, 11 knockouts in his 14 wins. We are at a standstill as the bell sounds and we head back to the corners.
Now round 3.
Round 3 begins, and as you saw in the replays, there were times in that round when Akhmadaliev was starting to get a little bit closer to Inoue, trying to work his way to the inside perhaps.
His problem is the price he's paying to get close, like right there. He's leaning in. Inoue pops him with the straight right. When you've seen Inoue fight and followed him, you know that his strength, beautiful right hand there from Inoue. His strength is his calling card, Corey. You see the build on him, the muscle mass, even at 122 pounds. Quick 1-2 from Inoue. But Corey, if you've seen his strength and conditioning highlight reel on YouTube, his training runs the spectrum, Corey. From functional, he's the guy doing kettlebell swings on a Bosu ball, but he's also doing preacher curls, our favorite exercise, which is why those biceps look the way they do. He's also doing weighted vest runs in the snow. So like raw physical conditioning is never Akhmadaliev's problem. And Inoue acknowledges as much. He said the only thing you could say that is intimidating about Akhmadaliev is his physicality and power, which is a backhanded way of saying I'm not impressed with his skills.
Well, to put it even more succinctly, Akhmadaliev, when he was asked by Tom Gray of Ring Magazine earlier this week what his best weapon in this fight would be, he said, "My body is my weapon." middle there.
Yeah, you saw him land that Canelo Alvarez hook to the body to start the sequence. A short sequence, that was his best sequence of the fight, but here you see Inoue answering quickly, emphatically.
Body from Inoue, got a little bit more daring there, tried to wipe the table with the left hook up top. Right hand downstairs as Inoue, that frame defense, offering a different picture to Akhmadaliev, standing right in front of him, daring Akhmadaliev. Akhmadaliev looking for the left hand to the body. Doesn't quite get there clean, but it does initiate somewhat of an exchange, albeit won by Inoue. Nice double jab there a moment ago. Seconds will tick away in the round. Another glare from Inoue as we take a look at the jam-packed crowd here at the IG Arena.
Corey, Akhmadaliev threw that left hand with the conviction of a guy who thought he had his shot. That was his home run swing. He threw it like he thought he had the shot that Cardenas had, that Luis Neri had early in their fights with Inoue. So what I've been curious to see is how Inoue makes that adjustment. Let's look at the replay. We have noticed Inoue keeping that right hand high. He is determined not to walk into another counter left hand. Not this fight, not like in the last one. You see him stabbing, spearing Akhmadaliev to the body with that right hand, which is what the textbook says an orthodox fighter is supposed to do. That's a southpaw.
Round 4 begins. This undisputed super bantamweight title clash. Naoya Inoue and MJ Akhmadaliev. Continues to go to the right hand of the body. Akhmadaliev is changing his level a little bit, dipping at the knees. Get a little lower, perhaps, maybe taking away Morgan that route to the body.
Yes. And Corey, you referenced Akhmadaliev's quote in Ring Magazine this week saying his body is his weapon. And here's Inoue going straight at the point that Akhmadaliev thinks is his strongest, going straight to the body.
Rather than his body being a weapon, his body is a target,
yes,
particularly for the right hand of Inoue. And there from Akhmadaliev, that one broke through.
You saw how quick the reply came from Inoue. The problem that Akhmadaliev has had so far in this fight is that Inoue's first in most of the exchanges, but he's also last in most of these exchanges. So even when he manages to land it, Inoue still gets the last word.
Dancing underway with that right hook from Akhmadaliev. As we know, the speed and the power of Inoue, it forces you to be honest on all of these feints as well. Something like that might happen. If he's telling the truth and he launches the right hand,
yes,
it looks like that.
And also, Inoue just seems to have Akhmadaliev right there, just thinking a little bit. Yes. Because he's so worried about that body attack, Corey. When Inoue changes levels and goes back upstairs, Akhmadaliev is vulnerable.
Both men landing with their backhand in that exchange, but Inoue sprinkling in a few more shots. 10-second clapper. It's the action now picking up. This world title fight. One last attempt at a right hook there from Akhmadaliev as we head back to the corners.
And Corey, I think that was another case where that might have been Akhmadaliev's best round, but it still was not an Akhmadaliev round. You see Inoue get home once again with that straight right hand. He hasn't been able to miss with that punch tonight, whether it's been to the body or the head. That might be Akhmadaliev's best punch of the fight. His problem is he hasn't been able to do it consistently enough so far, or to do it without catching a reply from Inoue so far.
Round 5 begins. And although Inoue obviously had success in that 4th round, Morgan, it is perhaps, if you're looking for positive signs from Akhmadaliev in that round, it was that he was willing to enter that exchange to land that left hand, and that may be the decision he has to make in this fight.
Yeah, I don't, because of the disparity in speed, I don't know any other way right now.
Akhmadaliev tries to double it up. That comes Inoue, and Akhmadaliev now waving the monster in.
Yeah, that might be his best way back into this fight, Corey, is to take his chances on catching Inoue during an exchange.
Sharp right hand again there from Inoue. Nice shots from Akhmadaliev. Both men acknowledging one another. It's like we're playing a game of catch with power shots right now. Loving right hook there from Akhmadaliev. He is by far having his most success here in this round.
Yes, or it's taking on the rhythm of a glory kickboxing match. You go, I go, you go, I go.
A rhythm that both men at every other point in their career would feel very confident about it, and right now look like they are as well.
Yeah, in that rhythm, each guy is confident that they got the power to get the job done.
Final minute of round 5. Best round of the fight thus far for Akhmadaliev, whether you have a scored for him or not.
Work it out, work it out!
And Inoue missed there with the right hand a few seconds ago. Did not miss with that sequence at all.
Fantastic left hook from Inoue, but again, credit to Akhmadaliev trying to come right back. Nothing as impactful as that sweeping left hook, but a reply nonetheless as Inoue walks him into another right hand. Digs a right hand to the body, does Inoue. Tempo really picking up here. One final right hand and a menacing grin on the face of Inoue.
Akhmadaliev with an authoritative jab. Just missing with that roundhouse left. Here's Inoue back to doing what he does. A 1 and a 2, and he lands that left hook, whiplashes Akhmadaliev's head. Here's that sequence one more time. Probably the best sequence of the round. And again, and that's been Akhmadaliev's problem all night. So every time he has some success, here's Inoue with the last word.
Very interested observer lurking at ringside in Junto Nakatani.
And Junto Nakatani looks like he goes to the same tailor as Naoya Inoue. That might be the exact same blazer. Don't you hate when you go to the club and somebody's wearing the exact same thing as you?
Terrible. Crowd getting a little bit more vocal here in Nagoya.
Here's Inoue, too, doing another veteran, smart guy tactical move. Whenever Akhmadaliev thinks he's going to do something, whenever Akhmadaliev or thinks he's going to rest, Inoue back on that jab, just to disrupt him. Just to give him something to think about when he thinks he's going to regroup. Right there.
Planting his feet at times.
Yes.
Right in front of Akhmadaliev.
Yeah, now here's Akhmadaliev going backwards or at least circling the perimeter of the ring, and I don't think that's what he wants to do. Unless he's being forced to do it, or unless he has to take a minute to think about something.
Hybrid right hand. Half hook, half uppercut. Just misses with that pull counter.
And Inoue's been trying to land that all night too. He's been coming up just short.
Hook there from Akhmadaliev. A downward arcing hook. That could be a dangerous shot for him. There it is again.
And it's effective when people try to put on the earmuffs, as we've seen. But again, here's Inoue just answering back. I lost count, Corey. That was at least 6 shots to the body.
Make it 7. Final 20 seconds of the round. Akhmadaliev has his brief moments, but back comes the monster. More body work from Inoue. Do it for the round.
Just Inoue unloading with both hands to the body, and if you're MJ Akhmadaliev, that's what has to be so frustrating about tonight, is that every time you make a little bit of progress, Inoue has an answer. And not just an answer, like he put something on you that you're going to remember between rounds.
Round 7 begins. Inoue again, just standing and daring Akhmadaliev to take his chances as he goes right back downstairs with the right hand. Akhmadaliev has yet to find a consistent rhythm. Akhmadaliev brings an uppercut through the middle.
Well, here's the other problem if you're Akhmadaliev, Corey, is that you spent the last 2 years convincing yourself that Naoya Inoue is afraid of you. Now, 6.5 rounds into this fight, you understand this man is not afraid of you. Doesn't mean you can't get anything done, but just this one big psychological, emotional weapon you thought you had, you realize you do not have. And you're starting from 0 now.
The question is, does he still have that self-belief in his power?
Yes.
Because clearly Inoue is not going to back down. That doesn't mean that he's impervious to every shot that Akhmadaliev can uncork.
Yeah, those are two very different things.
Inoue dancing in and out again, placing that right hand to the body. This has been a master class in how to use that long-range right hand to the body against a southpaw.
Yes.
Certainly Akhmadaliev with squared up stance has made it a little more accessible for Inoue. But again, this is an exceptional counterpuncher that he's doing this against.
Yes. And this is, you know, if you've watched Akhmadaliev's fights, this is the thing. Is that he's big and he's strong, but he's not a dynamo. What he likes to do is bait you into mistakes, and then when he counters you, he gets going. Which is another of his problems tonight, is that Inoue's not making that many mistakes. He can't bait Inoue into a mistake, and he doesn't like to lead Akhmadaliev.
10 seconds to the round. Still carrying Akhmadaliev to exchange. With one more right hand on the run. And as we look back at some highlights from the previous round, we unfortunately have to pass along the news that legendary Ricky Hatton has passed away at the age of 46. Condolences to the Hatton family, to all of his friends and family. Rest in peace.
Yeah, and in situations like this, Corey, you know, Hatton, 45 wins, 3 losses, and the easiest thing to remember are the losses: the loss to Floyd Mayweather, the loss to Manny Pacquiao. But he also was an absolute dynamo on his run through his initial run through the 140-pound division. 10th round stoppage over your man Super Ray Oliveira, and we can't forget what he did to Kostya Tszyu, and how near unbeatable Kostya Tszyu was before that fight. And so as we remember Ricky Hatton as an athlete, as a fighter, let's not just focus on those two high-profile fights that he lost against all-time greats. This is a guy that ran through the 140-pound division and was, if not a favorite, a live underdog against Floyd Mayweather.
Back to action here in Nagoya. As Naoya Inoue in control here. His title defense against MJ Akhmadaliev. Akhmadaliev giving a good account of himself, but running into many of the same issues that all of Inoue's opponents have run into.
Watch the feet, MJ.
Which is how you continue, Morgan, coming up with answers.
Yes.
Against a guy who seems to have a question and an answer in each and every exchange.
What did Jay-Z say? I'm the question and the answer like Iverson. This is Inoue tonight. And Akhmadaliev's body language also tells you that he just had a difficult time game planning for this speed. You can game plan for it, but to prepare for the actual speed in real time is something different.
Hard body shot there from Inoue. Wicked left hook. And you see some swelling.
Yes.
Starting to develop, mainly underneath the right eye of Akhmadaliev, but a little bit on both cheeks.
Yeah, on the left cheek as well, where that right hand's been getting home.
Hard right hand. Excellent pull counter, and you see the legs of Akhmadaliev wobbling just a little bit.
The difference there, Corey, in that particular pull counter is that that punch knocked Akhmadaliev back. Akhmadaliev took 2 steps back and he didn't want to take. That was forced the punch through. Now you see him starting to pull his body back from these body shots. Inoue starting to put some dents in those armor-plated abs.
You see the demeanor, the body language of Inoue now, and this is what Mike Tyson described when he was talking about Inoue, just how mean
Yes.
he could be in the ring. Inoue relishes in hurting his opponents, and it looked earlier in the round like he might have had Akhmadaliev hurt for the first time.
Just towards the end of that round, there's something fascinating happened. They both let right hands go at the same time. Right there. Sorry, that was early in the round, but the similar thing has happened. The Inoue's right hand is coming from farther away. Akhmadaliev's is with his lead hand, but Inoue still gets there first. So I'm talking about the speed that you can't prepare for. And another of the stories that Akhmadaliev told us, and the media told the public before this fight, and was obviously telling himself, was the fact that he trains in the same gym with the same coaches that Ramon Cardenas, who dropped Inoue in May, was to his advantage, because now his coaching staff had had 2 fights in a row to try to figure out Inoue. And what Inoue is letting you know is it ain't that simple.
Here, the Diaz brothers telling Akhmadaliev, you need to move a little more after their combinations. You can't stay there in front of Inoue. And again, easier said than done, because even if you make those moves, Inoue is right there on top of you. You could also see Joel Diaz having to work a little harder with the end swell there, Morgan. We mentioned swelling starting to pile up underneath both eyes of Akhmadaliev.
Also, Akhmadaliev, because of who he is, he's not going to get his offense off unless he is in front of Inoue. He's not going to score points from the perimeter like this. So you can tell him to move. That's not going to help him win this fight necessarily. It's not the way the fight's been going. And you can hear Akhmadaliev's corner asking the jab. But again, unless the jab has immaculate timing.
Just absorbed by Akhmadaliev. A heck of a chin on Akhmadaliev.
Yes.
To take that and to have something to say to Inoue.
We do need to acknowledge that, because the one thing we know about Inoue too is that the punching power has come with him up through the weight class. I want to say the last person to go the distance with him was Nonito Donaire, when Nonito busted his orbital bone.
People forget that even down the stretch in that fight.
You see that uppercut? Just snuck that in between, out the back door.
Remember, with a broken orbital bone, this is a stat that Kyle Antonomio likes to reference. He outlanded Donaire 82-34 with a broken orbital bone. Right down the pipe there from Inoue,
and you're starting to see some blood now from Akhmadaliev's nose.
Courtesy of that right hand. Boy, before the glove of Inoue had even left the nose of Akhmadaliev, there was a left hook to the body. There he does it again, same combination.
You could see that left hand too, jolt Akhmadaliev. In a fight full of body shots, that one had something extra on it. Here's Akhmadaliev in retreat corner. That's not at all what he wants to be doing.
Inoue starting to really enjoy himself as we head towards the home stretch of this title fight.
And there's that left hand up between the gloves, and then the right hand right down that same path. Akhmadaliev says, come on, because he can't say anything else, and he hasn't been able to reply with his fist. There's that dramatic uppercut, knocking the sweat off of Akhmadaliev. There's that big left hook. Left hook to the body that I think was a little bit harder than the rest of them we've seen tonight. We've seen some thunderous body shots. And you're right, Corey. Round by round, you see more and more swelling on Akhmadaliev's face, more and more reddening.
On the face of Inoue, you're starting to see more and more smiles, and I think the only thing scarier than an angry monster, Morgan, is a happy monster that's having fun.
Yes.
Exactly. A happy monster is bad news for anyone in this weight neighborhood. And MJ Akhmadaliev has 3 rounds to make something happen.
Anyway, coming straight in the front door, Corey. On offense, they didn't even need to give angles to Akhmadaliev. See Akhmadaliev let out sort of a heavy sigh there. But yeah, I empathize. Because this must be a long, painful, frustrating night if you're MJ Akhmadaliev.
Another right hand to the body will not help him find any air.
No.
Full counter, but it's a nice shot there from Akhmadaliev. Glimmers of hope every once in a while,
yes.
But now Inoue just parking himself right in front of Akhmadaliev. You know, Morgan, I think you've put it this way in the past, but Inoue, one of the rare fighters in the sport, one of the rare fighters that ever comes along, that doesn't have to negotiate between speed, power, and accuracy.
Yes. He's all 3 at the same time, almost all the time. And if you're fighting him, you have to find a way to disrupt that in a way that's going to last. Because again, the 2 times we've seen him down, he's adjusted within the fight. And the shot that dropped him never lands again. And I think Akhmadaliev came into this fight thinking he could land that same shot. Short range counter left hand. And Inoue has just never given him an opening for it.
Inoue has kind of presented the possibility of hope, of openings, as he did earlier,
yes.
Parking himself on the ropes, but still getting the best of these exchanges, even in a round when Akhmadaliev landed a couple right hooks. You have to imagine it was not enough to put a round in the bank.
No, and as I think back on this fight, I'm hard-pressed to think of a round that Akhmadaliev has won outright. He's had moments, but for the most part, not enough to string together to win him a whole round, I would think. Even in that sequence, Akhmadaliev's landing and Inoue's landing in between.
That's the other thing you see out of Inoue as you slow things down. There's these shots that he's able to just get out of the way of by inches, or he rides with a shot. Shots that in real time might look a lot more damaging or more threatening than they actually are.
Now, the judges don't have the benefit of the replay. They can't judge by the replay, but it's just in terms of the damage that punch might do. And if you're MJ Akhmadaliev, you think you've really rattled him, but in reality, you haven't because he's rolled with that punch.
2 rounds to go here in our main event. A potential rarity of seeing an Inoue fight go to the scorecard.
Yes.
Is a possibility here in this one. flush as Inoue has landed, there really, Morgan, has been one time that we've seen any movement in the leg of Akhmadaliev that might have suggested he was impacted or hurt.
Yeah, Akhmadaliev is tough. Tougher than we would have known that he is, because when else would somebody do this? And even that fight he lost to Marlon Tapia is not like this. You hear Akhmadaliev's corner urging him, come on, to be busier. But again, he has to calculate the cost of being busier. You hear them asking Akhmadaliev to go to the body first, to jab up and down. But again, it's one thing to see that shot from the corner. It's another thing to be able to pull it off against Inoue. He's always ready with a counter.
At this point in the fight, too, if you're thinking of body shots as a method to slow Inoue down,
yes,
you know, there are less than 4 minutes remaining in the fight.
Yeah. Those body shots would have to take effect immediately.
These are the frightening scenes if you're a prospective Inoue opponent, watching him do stuff like this, like trying out different stances on the fly.
Yes.
And still having the same level of effectiveness as he would normally. Hard body shot there from Inoue. Climbs the ladder and lands one final right hand right down the pipe with 3 minutes remaining in the contest.
And just the diversity in his attack. I don't know how you would deal with it.
You got power. You Uzbek power.
Last round, we're going to shake hands at the end of the round.
Hey, Uzbek power. Do it for your baby. Come on. Do it for baby MJ, baby. Let's go. Let's go, MJ. Let's go all out. Let's go.
Round 12. Now last round.
12th and final round of the opportunity that MJ Akhmadaliev hoped for and called for the better part of 3 years. He's got 3 minutes to capitalize on it.
And what you heard in Akhmadaliev's corner between rounds, Corey, was desperation. And it's amazing how quickly an attitude, or how profoundly an attitude can shift over the course of 33 minutes. Because on the way into this fight, it was, this guy's afraid of you, he's been ducking you for 2 years. On the way into the last round is, do it for Uzbekistan. When they're saying do it for Uzbekistan, and have to remind you that you have Uzbek power because they are out of practical answers.
Yeah, and it's an obvious acknowledgement of where the scorecards are.
Yes.
And I don't think that anyone scoring at home would think that this is particularly close, but
No, this should be a shutout. Maybe 1 round for Akhmadaliev. But again, it's just so far away from his thought process, his attitude, his outlet going into this fight. His outlook going into this fight. What he thought was, here's a guy that's scared of me, and I'm going to show him why he's been scared of me, and I'm going to show you all why this guy's been scared of me. And again, he learned very quickly that Inoue's not scared. And he learned very quickly that Inoue just presented a puzzle that he couldn't solve.
in fact, he has an opponent here tonight in Inoue who's asking for more engagement.
Yes. Akhmadaliev, he's at his best when he can get you to make a mistake and he can counter it. Inoue just has not made the mistakes tonight.
Final minute of the contest. Inoue would love a final round knockout. Akhmadaliev not presenting too many glaring openings, yet Inoue still finds them, even against a fighter who is thinking defense first, even in a round in which he needs a knockout.
That's another testament to just the thoroughness with which Inoue has outclassed Akhmadaliev. Akhmadaliev knows he needs a knockout, but he's still playing defense. He wobbled in there.
Oh my goodness, he found the shot. Will it be too late? In the final moments of the fight, Akhmadaliev found the shot that he was looking for, and I'm sure when we slow it down, we'll find out, was Inoue playing possum a little bit? Was he actually affected by that right hook? But for nearly every other moment of this fight, Morgan, it was total domination from the monster.
Yeah, it's just too fast, too smart, too resourceful, too versatile. Akhmadaliev had his moments, but could not string them together. No, that was a real shot, Corey.
That's a real shot.
Literally knocked the snot out of the monster with about 8 seconds to go in this fight. But you notice the second right hook he thought he was going to land, the monster was ready.
On the verge of, I don't want to, would it have been the greatest MJ buzzer beater of all time?
I guess you'd have to ask Craig Elo.
Yes.
He could tell you.
So a disappointing night for MJ Akhmadaliev. Although, again, going the distance with Inoue
it's an
is
achievement.
a feather in anyone's cap.
Yes.
It would take some truly unexpected scoring for Akhmadaliev to leave here the winner. And we are ready to make it official.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 12 rounds of action, we have a unanimous decision. Here are the score totals. Judge at ringside, Gerardo Martinez scores the bout 117 to 111. Judges Juan Carlos Pelayo and Mike Fitzgerald both score the bout 118 to 110. All three in favor of the winner. And still, the undisputed super bantamweight champion of the world, Naoya, the Monster Inoue.
So the monster reigns supreme. You heard the scores, 117, 111, and 118, 110 twice. Inoue vanquishes, as we put it earlier on in the night, Morgan, one of a small handful of fighters that anyone during Inoue's reign, anyone believed could potentially beat him.